Welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Dee Dee, and Randy is just off to my right with Mako. We are here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center on Rosemont Avenue. And as we do every week, we're going to bring you some adoptable animals so that you can either fall in love for yourself or your own family, or spread the word about the animals that are here in the shelter this week. And Mako is a 1-year-old male Boston Terrier that was found in Frederick, and brought to the shelter. We weren't able to find his owner. Now, as I often say, 7 out of 10 of our lost dogs are reclaimed because people in Frederick love their dogs, and when they go missing, they're on top of it and quickly here at the shelter looking for their dogs. But for whatever reason, Mako's family has not turned up, and he is in need of another one. Now, typical of Boston Terriers, which he is a bucket of joy. So this little guy loves everyone, is constantly in motion, and he's also very young, so he still has some retained puppy behaviors. And so if you were looking for a Boston Terrier and are interested in a young one, then Mako might be the one for you. As you can see, he's a leaner. Loves to be touched by people, and that is a great sign when you're judging the character of a dog who is to be a family pet. Mako is brindle and white. Most commonly, people are used to seeing Boston Terriers that are black and white or liver and white, but brindle's a perfectly legal color for them. The nice thing about getting a dog that is this purebred looking is that even though we don't have his AKC papers, you can still apply to the AKC for what's called ILP, and that is a limited registration. It doesn't allow you to breed him, which you wouldn't be able to do anyway since we don't know who his parents are and we're going to neuter him. But it allows you to show him in all AKC sanctioned events, which are for purebred dogs. If you think that Mako would make a good match for you or someone that you know, come by and meet him or pass his picture around. We are back with Nellie, and Nellie is a 5-year-old yellow lab mix and also a bundle of energy. She came to us because she was getting out of her backyard, and her owners didn't feel like they could keep up with that. There's a couple things that you can do if that is the case for your dog. First of all, whether or not you have a fence matters, what kind of fence it is, how the gate latches, and if there's anything on top of the fence that can keep her from climbing over. There's a really great device you can make with PVC pipe. That's a little roller that you can put on top of your fence so that dogs that tend to climb over can't get purchase on the top. And actually, I'll pass that on to Randy so he can put that on Facebook, so anyone who's interested might be able to see that. And Nellie seems a little anxious in here. A lot of tail wagging and friendliness. But you know, when a dog goes to a strange place, like the kennel, they often think it's the vet. And so probably what she wants to know is what's going to happen next. And there's not really a good way for us to tell her what that's going to be. That what's going to happen next is maybe a tummy rub, maybe a walk with some of our volunteers, a checkup from the vets. But it's hard for dogs to figure out exactly how long they're going to be with us and where they're going to live next. So if you know where Nellie's going to live next, then why don't you come in and meet her. If you have another dog, then you may want to bring your other dog to see what your other dog thinks about Nellie or what Nellie thinks about your dog. We don't require that, but it's something a lot of people ask us if they can do, so we definitely are interested in helping you make the best decision you can make. And one of the things that you should do if you do plan to bring your dog is come by yourself first and make sure that Nellie is a good match for you, and then come back with your dog. And that is so that you don't have to walk through our kennel with your dog, which we do to protect your dog and our dogs from sharing germs. And also so that you don't have to leave your dog in the car for any part of your visit. If you think that Nellie would make a good match for you or someone that you know, just let us know. We are back with Achilles, and this is a great testament to dog breeds right here, because we just had a purebred Boston Terrier and a lab mix, everyone's favorite, and now we have this mix of mixes. He's got a coat like a beagle or a shepherd. It is a double coat. He's got a head like a lab. He could be part pit bull, and he is the best trained, most well-mannered dog that you have seen yet today. Sits when you ask him to, has easy energy, is still young and active, likes everyone. He has been to events with Randy where other dogs jumped around and acted foolish, and Achilles just did the best job of being gentle with everyone, and he's going to make somebody a really great pet. The other thing he's already neutered, so that makes his adoption a little quicker than if we have to wait to do surgery. So it's just a testament to, he may not be mixed pit at all, but we have that on his paperwork in case landlords have any restrictions. But it's just a testament to the problems with judging a dog by his breed. You know how they say you can't judge a book by his cover, and that's absolutely true of individual living things. He is his own self, and he has to offer what he has to offer. So when Randy took him to, was it Pet Value, PetSmart? PetSmart. PetSmart this past weekend. And they also took a tiny little Yorkie, and he was quite the gentleman, gentle and kind. There was also, and there was an event going on there. There was also another rescue there with a multitude of young bully breed dogs who were just, you know, awaiting training and jumping around and barking and even snarling on occasion. And Achilles handled it all like the royalty his name speaks of. So if you like big dogs, and lots of people do, especially in Frederick, and you want a family pet, then Achilles is your guy. And our next guest is a very, very cute little dog. If you are familiar with Staffordshire Bull Terriers, it is a tiny version of a bully breed. They are sometimes called nanny dogs. They are very popular in Great Britain, and we think he's a mix of that. It is one of the bully breeds, so you do have to pay attention to restrictions that your landlords might have. However, they're tiny, so they usually fall under the weight limits of where there are requirements to have a smaller dog. He's a very cute little dog. He is estimated about 6 to 9 months old, so he's a puppy, and we're calling him Zuko. Now, obviously, you can change his name. He's not used to it yet. You heard me say it. He didn't even look up. We do with all of our dogs a behavior assessment, which we share with you, and we tell you if we gave him a delicious bowl of food, and then we snatched it away, and then we got him all excited about some toys, and then we took his toys away, and we try to see if when he's provoked, he would choose to bite. And then we share all that information with you so that you'll know when dogs are stray. We do it for all dogs. But when dogs are stray, oftentimes people think, oh, I really feel better getting a dog that was owned by someone, so I know more about him. And I can understand that, but the reason that that might not always work is because when a dog is a stray, we know for one, he's smart because he survived on the street without a human holding the end of his leash long enough to get here, and probably walked up to a person for help. Number two that we know about dogs that are stray is their friendliness to people and their desire to be with people, or we wouldn't have an easy time capturing them. There are cases in which we capture stray dogs in a trap, and that's pretty rare. and some of those dogs end up in foster care before they get adopted out, but we would share all that with you. Zuko is a friendly, lovable dog that is going to make someone a great pet, but the other thing is he's very unique looking. So sometimes when it's hard for you to decide what kind of dog to get, it's great to start by choosing based on energy level and outward appearance, just to pare down your choices. And because this little guy is remarkable looking, I think he's going to draw a lot of attention. And because he's a puppy, we're going to take 4 applications and find the best match for him. And I think he's going to make somebody really happy because just a great little dog. Our next canine guest is Rascal. And Rascal is a Rat Terrier mix, maybe a Parsons Russell mix. And we don't know a lot about him. Of course, we did the behavior assessment for him that we do for everyone, and we will share that with you, and it gives us lots of information about how he handles challenges. But the reason we don't know very much about his past, and he's only a baby, he is between 6 and 9 months old, is that a property manager brought him to us because some tenants left him behind. So, you know, thank goodness for the property manager checking on the property right away. That doesn't always happen. And we always appreciate it when people bring animals in when the owner isn't available, because chances are the tenants could have come here and reclaimed their dog if there was a mistake. But more importantly, if someone leaves a dog behind in a locked building, obviously that could go very badly. So Rascal was lucky, and he has ended up in the shelter where he'll be microchipped and started on his vaccines and neutered and displayed for a loving family to come and find him. He's a puppy, so we're going to take 4 applications and pick the best match. And sometimes people ask us why we do that, because it makes it harder for you to get a puppy. But the reason that we do it is that we get under 300 puppies a year. And of those puppies, about 10% of them get returned, even when we do 4 applications and try to pick the most experienced match. Now, that is true nationwide, that 10% of shelter dogs get returned to the shelter within the first month or so. But we don't just count the ones that are returned within the first month. We count any dog that was ever adopted from Frederick County Animal Control and ever ends up back here. So even 8 years later. So trying to keep that number at 10% is our goal. Obviously, we would love to eliminate returns, but that is unlikely since dogs aren't interchangeable. Every dog doesn't match every family. And while we try to make the match before you take them home and get your heart broken, sometimes there's just things you can't foresee. So with puppies, we take 4 applications and we try to find somebody who either has experience with puppies and house training or has family members and resources to get that done. We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to be back with some adoptable cats at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. So I hope you join us after the break.
Did you know that all of Frederick County's mixed recyclables go to a materials recovery facility to be sorted? For this to happen, your recyclables need to be placed into a cart or bin loose, not in bags. Trash bags are not recyclable, and materials in bags are difficult to open at the sorting center and are not accepted. The only exception to this rule are recyclable plastic bags, like grocery store bags, which do need to be gathered together inside one bag so that they don't get caught in the sorting facility's machinery. Also, shredded paper should be placed inside a paper bag or cardboard box so that it can be collected and sorted properly. Thank you for helping to make recycling work better for our community. And remember, please don't bag your mixed recyclables. More information on our recycling program can be found online, in our mobile app, or by calling our office. Recycle more, waste less.
Welcome back to Pet Pals. This is Samantha, and Samantha is a 1 or 2 year old adult kitty that was found lost and has ended up in the shelter through no fault of her own. And we looked for her family, as we always do. We get a large number of lost reports for cats every day, and we enter them into our Pet Point database and try to make matches with the cats who are in the shelter. And we also check the hard copies of lost reports. We also check periodically some Facebook pages that deal in missing and found animals. We place animal pictures on our website at frederickcountymd.gov/FCAC for Frederick County Animal Control. We have a button you can click to see the new animals that have come in each day that are stray. And so we take cats on radio shows and put their pictures in the Frederick News Post and on Facebook and on Pet Finder and on Pet Tango, and on flyers that Sean prints every week. So we do all that we can think of to get the word out that we have these animals that have gone lost or missing. And in the case of dogs, as I mentioned earlier in the show, 7 out of 10 are reclaimed, which is a number you might imagine when animals get lost, that people want them back. That's not the case for cats. Fewer than 3, and very often fewer than 2 out of 10 cats are ever reclaimed. So it's a real problem for cats that get separated from their family, and some research has been done to determine why that happens. And one reason the researchers found is that when people's dogs go missing, first of all, they notice right away. When a cat goes missing, it's possible, though I'm sure the cats wouldn't like it, it's possible that no one notices the first day. The other reason that they say cats don't get claimed at the same rate as dogs is that sometimes people do notice that their cat's missing and they decide, I'm sure she'll come back. So multiple things go into the delay of getting animals back. We are open on Wednesday and Thursday nights until 8 p.m. and we're also open on Saturdays because we never want someone to say, hey, my cat went missing, but I couldn't get to the shelter till the weekend. We have flexible hours, so that won't be a problem. Randy just brought up a really important thing you can do right away. Microchip your cat. If your cat, beautiful. If your cat is microchipped, then we scan all of the cats that come into the shelter, and the microchip data is up to date with your phone number and address. We stand such a better chance of getting your cat back with you very quickly.
You won't last long.
This is Yuki, and Yuki is about a year old, female kitty, and she was given up because she peed on somebody's clothing. Naughty kitty. So what we did when we brought her here is, is that we gave her a litter pen and we kept her off the adoption floor, and we have these little observation cards, and the animal care techs write down every day, did she use the litter box? Is she eating her food? And she's been fine. So one of the things that 10% of cats do in their lifetime, whether they're males or females, there's some misunderstanding that it's a male cat problem, which is not true. They will urinate on something when they're upset. Now, first, you have to rule out before you decide that that's the problem, is that a lot of cats won't use a litter box that's dirty. So that's on the person. The second thing is a lot of cats can't share a litter box with another cat who's a bully. So you have to make sure you've eliminated that issue. And then thirdly, cats can have medical problems just like people, bladder infections, crystals forming in the bladder. So if a cat has any change in litter box behavior, you need to consult with your vet. You may not even need to take the cat in, but you absolutely have to call your vet and tell him or her what you see, because in the case of male cats, and this is probably where the misunderstanding came, it can be a veterinary emergency. But barring all of those things, sometimes cats urinate on something that they feel is a boundary to their territory that's being threatened. It's when they're upset about something. So oftentimes, veterinary behaviorists will ask you, has anyone new moved into the house? Have you moved to a new place? Have you moved the litter box? Have you changed the type of litter? Have a new baby is sometimes a reason. So whatever happened in Yuki's house that was concerning her is not happening here because she's doing very well with her litter box. So, and she's very affectionate, friendly, outgoing cat. She doesn't seem like a nervous Nellie. So we think she's going to be fine and make someone a great pet. She is quite beautiful. Oftentimes we have people ask us if we ever get all white cats, and they're not very common. So if you're interested, please let us know. This is Oreo. And a lot of times people come to the shelter wanting to adopt 2 cats. One of the ways you can do that is you can get 2 kittens, and they are likely to play together, which is a bonding experience, and then become friends forever. But there's no guarantee, because kittens, as they grow, change a little bit in personality. Even litter mates. You can get 2 litter mates, and when they get about 9 or 10 months old, they start to scuffle and posture at each other a little bit, and they may not always be best friends. So Oreo has a roommate named Cheyenne, who you'll meet in a moment, and they do want to be together. So if you want to get 2 cats, the best way to guarantee is get 2 cats that already are adult enough that you can tell they're friends and they're going to remain friends. It would be, sometimes I think we underestimate the difference between ourselves and dogs and cats. I'm not trying to say that dogs and cats are just like people. Obviously, there's tons of differences. But you can't just, let's say your roommate moves out or your spouse moves out. You can't just get a new one to replace them and have it work out. People aren't interchangeable and cats aren't interchangeable. So if you have a cat, and let's say you have 2 cats and one passes away and you think your cat's lonely and you should go out and get another cat, it is very likely that the new cat is not going to be to your cat's liking. So you have to be willing to put the time in to get them to work it out. But if you are up for it, we have 2 cats, Oreo and Cheyenne, who are already bonded, ready to go together, and to be fast friends. So sometimes it makes it easier to get 2 that are already attached to each other than it does to try and make the match like an arranged marriage, because that does not always turn out to be the best way for 2 cats to make it work. I'm sure many of you have been fixed up on dates and afterwards thought, man, my friend does not know me at all if this is a match that they think they made. Same for cats. So Oreo is 4 years old, and Cheyenne is also 4 years old. And the reason her family gave them up, is because they had too many cats. So it is important to remember that when you have a large number of cats, if you have 1 or 2 that don't get along, you have to think about them. In no way am I encouraging relinquishing any animals. The fewer we get, the better. But you have to think about how you can make it work for them. This is Cheyenne, a beautiful gray tabby with a very short tail. And it looks like she was born that way because the end of her tail is fully furred. There's no scar or anything like that. Obviously, I can't say that for sure. I'm just taking a guess. But Cheyenne is, I don't think so, because she's sticking it straight up and wiggling it. What Randy and I are talking about is cat body language. So his skills as a cat wrangler help him bring cats into a strange room, which is hard on them, and make them feel as comfortable as they can so you can see them on camera. But some of the things that he looks for is headbutting, rubbing up against him, purring, making biscuits or kneading. All of these are clues that the cat feels very comfortable and wants affection. Some friendly behaviors are sticking the tail straight up and shivering it a little bit, ears forward, walking around. Those are confident, sniffing, confident, friendly behaviors. And then some of the scared behaviors that they might show are hiding behind him, puffing up their tail, swatting at him. Open mouth breathing is a concern, and we would probably not make the cat go through the TV show at all if they showed that kind of stress. So Randy's looking at all of those things while I'm talking. And because she has this short tail, he commented that it was a guess whether she was puffing up her tail or whether that's how it looks because the end of it is fully furred. So these are all things that you should think about when you come to meet a cat, what their body language is telling you. Do they want more? Do they want more space? Are they confident? Do they want to do more, be more? Do they like to be touched? All of these things are things to think about, because picturing what you want to do with your cat helps us help you pick the right cat. If you say you want to sit by the fireside and watch movies, then we want to either find you a cat that will go off and entertain himself, or one that'll snuggle right in with you and affectionately watch. If you would rather work on your computer all day or play Wii, then you're not going to want a cat that grabs the cords and climbs up and down your leg while you're trying to do things. So we can help you, and we do that by color coding the cats blue, orange, and green depending on their activity level and their behavior with our vet techs. So we share all that information with you, and that can help you make a choice. Cheyenne and Oreo, who you just met, go together, and hopefully they will be out of here as a pair pretty soon, because we have a lot of kittens in the shelter, and we want to keep emptying our cages to make room to save more and more. We have some really great news. Local rescues have taken more than 400 animals from us this past year, and that is up considerably from last year, which means a bunch more animals got saved thanks to your support, thanks to the support and activities of generous rescue groups. And it's just news we love to get, news we love to share. And part of that is keeping the cages empty through adoptions and rescue as often as we can. So if you're interested in Cheyenne and Oreo, come by and meet them. They're both lovely girls. I think you're gonna really like them.
I can't have you.
So I know some of you have been waiting, but we have kittens. We have over 60 foster homes who do a great job for us raising up tiny kittens when they come to the shelter too little for adoption, until they are big enough for their shots and their spay-neuter and to go to their new homes. Pepsi and her other soda pop litter mates are here awaiting adoption. And since they've been through the foster program, we know a lot about them. We know what they like. We know if they've been with kids, with dogs, litter trained, things they like to play with. And some of our foster moms are pretty involved in their aftercare, so you can call them. Sometimes we can share posters they make about their kittens. There's all kinds of things that we can offer you with foster care. And if you are interested in being a foster care provider, you don't have to do any of those things. You don't have to be in touch with the new adopters. You can let us handle everything. Some of the foster moms and dads don't want to do it. Be involved in the after. And you can let us know to what level you want to follow the kittens after their adoption, and we will accommodate that. It can be hard to watch them go off into their new homes, and it can also be the most joyous thing, because if you take 5 little kittens home, obviously you know you can't keep them all. Knowing that you are helping save those lives and put them in a future situation that will give them everything that a cat should have of their very own can be really rewarding. A lot of our foster homes have kids, and they like doing it because the kids like doing it. It can be a very nice experience for the kids to be able to play with a batch of kittens that you do not have to keep forever. Thank you for joining us on Pet Pals. We come to you every week from Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center with adoptable animals from the shelter on Rosemont Avenue. And we are very excited to be able to show you them somewhat live, so you can get to know a little bit more about them. And hopefully, if you are looking for a pet, you'll think of the shelter first. And if you already have a pet and you want to help us out by donating supplies, linens, your time as a volunteer, we welcome that. So join us next time on Pet Pals, and in the meantime, you can choose an animal you have seen today and on petfinder.com share their profile, or you can use the link at the bottom of your screen to share on your social networking sites or through email. Thanks for joining us. Hope we see you next time.